it's always good to do dynamic stretching before you exercise, especially if you feel like sometimes you'll just feel like really tight. Static stretching, they used to believe that alone, like if you static stretch, which is just like standing and then holding a muscle for, X amount of time and just like really squeezing it, used to basically set you up for injury. But they have found that, if you hold a stretch for 10 to 30 seconds or so, like a deep stretch, like grabbing your foot, squeeze and doing a quad stretch, chances of you suffering an injury from like overstretching, not gonna happen. I used to static stretch all the time, but not like hard. I just do it just because my thighs are always feel tight. My shoulders always feel tight. Ankles. Anyone that has dogs, if your dogs sleep at the foot of your bed, they usually sleep on your blankets. So then you feel like your feet get trapped down. So I wake up in the mornings and my ankles hurt. My ankles already hurt anyways, mainly just because I've got a bad back. And I think that affects my feet. But you know what they say, we ball, right? Can't let injuries completely take you out of the fight. Nice little dynamic warm up. Helps to wake up that CNS. Kind of do it in some different planes. Rotate your hips. And especially if you have a desk job and you spend a lot of time sitting, doing things that force you to move in different planes of motion is so good for you because you get so tight. Your hips start to get tight because you're in a seated position. Your hips just, start to hurt. You'll notice, like if you stand for too long, if you have like a desk job, you'll notice that your back will start to burn. Your hips will start to kind of ache, and that's all because that posterior chain, baby, weak. Always hear people talking about like, oh, in order to get really strong, you have to train to failure. I can tell you, for most people, training to failure is an absolute recipe for disaster. You want to talk about injury, poor form, pushing people beyond their capabilities, which you can call just ego lifting. And one of the big things is too, it's like, for example, all these teenagers who are taking steroids and stuff, right? They're getting strong really quickly. Well, the problem with that is chances are that's not their tendons aren't getting as strong as quickly either. So you incorporate the muscle strength, but you lack the foundation to actually support that weight over a long period of time. Start getting, detachments, tendons detaching from bone, start getting ligaments that start to snap. I mean, it's just, it all, the internet has really turned people into these individuals who think that they have to go balls out 24/7. They got to prove something to somebody, whoever that somebody is, probably their buddies or the rest of the internet, to make themselves look like they're just these badass gym goers. And I think with time and as you get older, you learn that there's a longevity aspect of fitness, and that's more appealing than always wanting to lift heavy. Sure, like today, I'm gonna attempt to lift a little bit heavier. Should I? Probably not. But am I going to? Yes, a little bit. I want to start, I don't do it as often as I should, but throwing in, that lower volume, higher intensity, right? So doing less work, but straining just a little bit harder is, it's good for, maximal strength. It's not so much for looking good, building, hypertrophy or anything like that. It's just like, one, it's to kind of test yourself, see where you're at, and two, there's a fine line between just wanting to be fairly strong, right? And I like to be strong. I don't care to look a certain way. When you're doing shoulder presses, like military presses, standing military presses, there's two ways to do it. You can do strict press, which is you just pick the weight up and you just press it overhead, or you can do kind of like a little push press. Some people really will exaggerate it. I'm going to tell you right now, my opinion is there's no right or wrong way to do a standing military press. I do it both, especially if my shoulders are feeling a little fatigued. I do a push press. I also take more of a real world approach to doing certain exercises. For example, if you were going to try to push something up above your head, most likely you're going to give it a little, you're going to give it a push press. So if you're somebody who wants to train for life and not beauty, aesthetics, make your training match life. And so, for example, this is 65 pounds. This is not heavy. So this is just a warm up. Oh man, my shoulders are.
Why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step. I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets. Cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring it.
Whatever you do, take everything you hear on the internet with a grain of salt. Even things that I say, because everybody is slightly different. The way that your body's shaped is a little bit different. Any of the muscle imbalances that you have are going to be a little bit different. And everybody has muscle imbalances. I don't care how good of an athlete you are. Everybody has a lagging body part. So, yes, there is a specific way to say, hey, this is kind of how you should do it to try to prevent injury. But the way I look doing something may look completely different than the next person who does it right after me. So, and it's not because they're doing it wrong. It's just their overall body shape is not identical to me. So, when you hear people on the internet saying, oh, you're doing it wrong, that's not right, oh yeah, you don't look like you're doing it, it's like, just ignore it. Chances are, it's just some kid who started watching some, Sheezy or whatever the heck, Shizzy or whatever the heck his name is on the internet, and all the Trend Twins and all these people who are just blasting gear and slamming weights. Form is not part of their game. It's not. It's just moving as much weight as fast as possible and then grunting and yelling and doing all that ignorant child stuff. Check out the Crusaders Fitness Darth Vader shirt. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. Soon, you'll be able to use my discount code. So, I believe it's like 15% off or something like that. So, you know, nothing super crazy, but it's good. I think it's going to be like T-Nox 15 or something like that. I'm still waiting for them to approve it. And then I'll have a link for all of that. On my Instagram, I have a link directly to their website, but and if you're somebody who doesn't wear a belt, because you think that only sissies wear belts, when you wind up with a bad back, for example, like myself, you will start to realize how important these things are to your lifting. It's a game changer. Makes you, could be like a subconscious thing where you just don't feel like you're putting too much strain, but an absolute needed addition to any of your fitness equipment. You can also do a staggered step where you have, your strong support leg behind you too to press, just in case you feel like you're not as balanced. It's good to try to practice with just your feet, shoulder width apart, so you can work on that stability, but always go err on the side of caution and do what's best for you.
Someone at the door, John, now I'm here to stay. Tell me who the fuck gonna face the music, more brick laying, less screen time. Been cutting back on the daily usage. Long road for the road dogs, with the weird minds in the soapbox. Got big KTs on this bitch, so everybody get a road on, yeah. Yeah, everybody.
We're gonna try for 205. Don't think it's gonna work, but you know what? We're gonna try it. Gonna give it a shot. I was challenged in, pressure turned me into a precious cut. Floodlights to the flooded chain, 30 city tour in a ton of states. I can't wait till I up the leaves from the minors in my art come of age. Seen a lot of people playing seeds to the dream, grown patient and run away. I cultivated, irrigated it, now the growth amazing. I love the change, oh yeah. Been laughed at before, been little bro, not the same one. Pass me the torch. 1.5. We'll take it. We'll take it. Lay back, let's succumb to it, then shit can get spicy. Ain't shit sweet cause the light skin, I don't take shit lightly. Cover tan if she like me, but can't entertain the psyche. No time for a bay, I'm too busy getting hyphy. 2 full-time jobs, when the fuck does he rest? Never when you want 10, teed up like Titleist on my friends. I'm in the shit to the end, I'm feeling more with the drive to feel more is on my mind, yeah. I'm still sore from the heavy lifting that I've had to do, but it's fine. How many legs I got up on a ship resembling a whole centipede? Worry one-sided with the competition, I've been residing where the rent is free. I got brothers that I gotta pay. This why nobody is a friend of me. Fam roots deeper than an evergreen. Clear us and them, got a separate creed by any means. Oh man, what is this? 90, 295. Ooh. Ewy.
Someone at the door, John. Now I'm here to stay. Tell me who the fuck gonna face the music. More brick laying, less screen time. Been cutting back on the daily usage. Long road for the road dogs, with the weird minds from a soapbox. Got BKTs on this bitch, so everybody getting rolled on, yeah.
I'm tired of the internet also telling, criticizing people and telling people that they're, when they post a lift that they do, and it's something that they're proud of, like, yeah, look what I did, blah, 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 blah. And you get these people that are like, oh, that's weak. You should be lifting way more than that if you're a 30-year-old man, blah, 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 blah. And it's just this constant negative, like, talk on the internet when you get these gym bros on there. And I think the idea that people have to understand everyone is on their own fitness journey. Everybody's on a journey. That journey has nothing to do with anybody else but themselves. And when you downplay somebody else's success that they're proud of, especially when it comes to fitness, because fitness is already such a rocky area for people to feel comfortable in. Now, there's a whole other side of fitness, the chubby fitness people that are like, I'm big, I'm beautiful, blah, 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 and that's what they want to do, and that's what they're trying to promote. But those who are like, I need to make a change for the better for myself because, I just don't feel good, I want to be stronger. It's relative to the individual. The person is the one who decides what is a personal best. Not the 18-year-old kid who, just got his first pubic hair, thinking that he knows everything there is to know about fitness when he hasn't even moved out of his mommy and daddy's house, hasn't paid a friggin' bill in his life, hasn't actually experienced life or anything. Like, stop paying attention to the outside noise and focus on your own journey. And yes, always post what you are proud of, right? But also show the things that aren't always the most glorious also, right? That way, when somebody tries to downplay what you're doing, you have proof that it's like, well, look at, I don't need to prove anything to you, but if you just go back and look, you can see that I'm growing, right? Like I'm not just posting the good. You also have to post the bad too. But the big part of that is you put what you were proud of and ignore the negative. Those people, they're not worth your time. They're not worth your energy. They're fun to talk trash to if you ever, if that's just something that you like to do. I mean, sometimes I do. I get bored and I, seek those types of people out just to talk trash to or whatever. But when you're proud of your own achievements, that's what matters. Don't let other people take that away from you. Said I never do this, but they push me, so I might now. And I check them with these dollars, pockets getting tight now. Look, told them all I'm about to make it out. Reinvested every dollar, dog, and I told them all never take it out. When they talking about my name now, told them don't be scared, gotta say it loud. Got to trash in these stories lately like it's on the curb, about to take it out. Look, pipe down, I don't care what's next, I need it right now. And I got the numbers going stupid like they dropped down. What they think they doing, I don't know, but we can find out. Feel like Lewis Hamilton said, go and shut the lights out. Pipe down, I don't care what's next, I need it right now. That was rough. Got the numbers going stupid like they dropped down. What they think they doing, I don't know. 345. Yikes. I did not feel good on my back. Not happening. Well, my 205 power clean was a failure, but I kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to go that well. My back's pretty tired. Like I said, I've got like 4 or 5 bulge discs right now, so I'm even surprised that I'm even able to work out. Probably not recommended to keep working out when you have like injuries like that, but I also know that if I sit around for too long and I take it easy, I do really start to hurt. I feel like my body just like tightens up. So for me, you know, it's no different than if they send you to rehab or whatever to, you know, physical therapy. They're going to make you do stuff. They're going to make you work your core and your back and your legs and all that stuff because, you know, movement is medicine and blood flow is probably the best thing that you can do for really any injury. You know, getting all those nutrients and everything to the injured area. So at this point, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I've pretty much had a cooked back for as long as I can remember, all the way back to the military. But, you know, I'm aging. Things are starting to kind of show themselves. It is what it is. But you know what, I'll say that I'm pretty satisfied with the rest of the work, you know. I got 205 for a single shoulder press. I'll say I got it for 1.5 because I got a half rep in there. 345 squat for 2, which, you know, for my back being pretty tired, I'm gonna take that as a win. And then what else we got? I had some accessory work to do, but I kind of got a late start. I was kind of slow this morning. Plus I had a meeting that I attended to. I'm in the process of really wanting to start my personal training business. So I'm working with somebody right now to kind of help build that out. I think it's something that, you know, I'm truly passionate about. I enjoy it. It makes me happy. And I want to be able to, you know, help others. Seems to be that there's a lot of people out there these days who claim to be personal trainers, but they're not actually doing anything themselves. They pay, you know, they charge ridiculous amounts of money for some sort of training package. And then they take the money, they have somebody else build out the plan. So then they pay somebody else that you have no idea is even involved. And they did absolutely nothing for you. They're just the face, and you wind up getting kind of screwed because when you go to try to contact that person, they're nowhere to be found because they're not an actual trainer. That's not what they do. They're hustlers. They're scam artists. That's what they do. So building out a legitimate business, ultimate goal would be to open up my own private training facility later on down the road. But as I kind of progress with this, is kind of like my side project to build slowly but surely. I figure I might as well just build it out in my garage. I'm gonna get a shed built so I can move everything that's in here out there and get more equipment. I want some leg curl and leg extension machines, just probably the dual purpose ones that you can just flip around, just to, you know, more so for this saving space in a garage. And a couple other pieces of equipment, maybe like a cable machine, like an adjustable cable machine. So one for me too, right? Like it's equipment for me to use, but also for those that want to do in-person training. I know there's some chubby kids around my neighborhood. You know, it'd be nice to maybe try to figure out how to reach out to them and get their parents' permission. And who knows, maybe even the parents want to come over and start training and stuff too. You know, I mean, it's good for the whole family. It's fun. You know, they can challenge each other. They can hold each other accountable. Part of fitness is having a community of people around you who are basically your accountability partners. They want to hold you to a higher standard, and that drives you to want to be better. And you know, even if you do fall off the wagon a little bit, you know, you do kind of like, oh man, I know you guys were really trying to push me. I'm sorry. I'm gonna do better, right? I'm gonna jump back on, and I'm gonna go harder than last time. So, yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and probably tonight I might do my accessory work. Really depends on how I feel. I have a feeling I'm gonna be pretty sore here in the next probably 45 minutes to an hour. So, but yeah, that was kind of my low volume, higher intensity, right? Like putting in a little bit more effort for, doing a little bit heavier work. For those who may not understand, like if you do low volume, it just means like the amount of work that you're doing. So like your sets and your reps, the volume, and then the intensity is going to be like how hard that you're working in that time frame too, right? So obviously low volume means I only did 2 sets of each exercise. Obviously the ones that I failed at, I only did 1 rep. So that's like super low volume, but at the same time, it allows you to build that strength. It kind of triggers your CNS to go, whoa, okay, like you're stacking some weight on me, but you're not like overdoing it, right? You're not doing technically a 1 rep max, even though it may seem like it, because I couldn't even do 205 on power clean, but that's within reason. I think if I was healthy, I probably would have got it for the 2 that I needed to do, but it is what it is. It's not the end of the world, right? Like that's part of training. That's part of fitness, is you got to test yourself. We generally don't train to failure. You shouldn't train to failure. If you're more experienced, sure, maybe you can, but it's not something that I'm willing to do for myself. And if I were somebody's trainer, I wouldn't be training them to failure either. I'd be training them hard and I'd be pushing them, but you can push to the point of you're still going to get maximal benefits without truly hurting somebody or causing somebody to suffer an injury later on down the road, because you did something and then you're repeating that over and over and over again, every week, and you're setting these people up for failure. And there's nothing worse than being injured and not being able to work out, especially if you're new to exercise and you just broke down that barrier of doing it and staying consistent, and you wind up with an injury and you go, oh, I can't work out anymore. Even though that's not true, you can still exercise while you're injured. You just manipulate the exercise to fit the injury. But failure is part of the journey. Like I had mentioned earlier, everyone's on their own journey. You're on your own journey. I'm on my own journey. Don't let anyone take that away from you. The only thing that is gonna be bad for you is by not starting, right? So if you don't start, doesn't matter what it is. It could be fitness, it could be business, it could be just a life change. You just wanna be better. The worst thing you could do is not start, right? And don't let negative people in your life dictate whether or not you're gonna start. Okay, that's one thing. Most people who have the most negative stuff to say about you or what you're trying to achieve or do are people who have never tried, taken a risk. They've never pushed themselves to a point of like, hey, you know what? I gave it a shot. It didn't work out. So be it, right? Maybe you take some time off and you go back to it later on down the road. It doesn't matter. Don't be like everybody else. Be different. Take the risks. As long as it doesn't hurt you, your family, your financial aspect where you don't know if you're going to have a roof over your head. I can attest to, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've tried a lot of different things. Luckily, I have a wife that is very, very supportive of what I do. But it's life is about taking risks. At some point you do have to enjoy what you do. Especially nowadays, like we're in a new age, man. Like there's a lot of things that we can do out there to make really good money, or make, whether you want to be rich or you just want to be comfortable. There's so much you can do. And if you can do it on the side for a little bit and kind of build it up, if that's the way that it takes, or if you're somebody that can go all in, right? Like you've got the finances, you've got the means to just go all in and just go for it, then do it. But that's all I got to say. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. For those of us in the Pacific Northwest, better be prepared. We got a wet weekend coming. I feel like a weatherman right now. We've got rain coming from the coast, right? I think they said like 1 to 6 inches in areas. Yeah, it's going to be insane. Flash floods, probably trees falling over because it's going to be windy, so the ground's going to get saturated. Yeah, it should be fun this weekend. Hopefully no power outages. That's no fun because then I can't do nothing. Can't play no Battlefield 6? Come on, guys. Come on.